That's how you know you're at the end of the road. All of a sudden now, like, dude. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Cave Trader? 2 times. What's up? It was definitely a bullish trend. Did anybody catch that move? That bullish continuation? Bullish trend. Yeah, that 125 points to the upside. 131 points to the downside. Then we had a 203-point bounce. Yeah, I don't know what the heck I was looking at, but I would have been in this trial. I would have gotten filled already before the stream started, but this entry, I just put my entry at about 3 ticks above S2, and this thing missed me. So when I came back to my desk and saw that I got missed here, I was like, damn. And then I saw this big move up, breaking structure to the upside. It broke. So right now, gold is super bullish. We got a break of this structure right here. We got a break of that structure right there. So this is a candidate for a breakout pullback trade here. So I'll be looking to see. I'll be looking for a pullback. There's a range like about like right here. So I'll be looking for a potential pullback trade into that area right there. Uh, but I'm pretty sure that we're not going to get it tonight. So uh, as I've shared yesterday, I don't trade my funded accounts or the stream account on Friday. So this week, I had a bad start on Monday. I started off with what 1550 or 15.5. I had a bad day. I lost about $1,400 oversizing, deviating from my rules, and I lost about $1,400 because I mean the position was going in my favor. It's just that it didn't hit my targets, and it came back and stopped me out. So, uh, but I was able to bring that account back. I think we're up about almost $17,000. So, um, I, yeah, so I was able to bring the account back up about 3 or 4 thousand. So, so this week was definitely a good week. Bad start, but we was able to recover. It didn't go on tilt, which is a good thing. It just kind of shows that I'm taking a page out of Cave's trader book. Is that a red day is just that, a red day, and just accepting it and moving forward and getting that money back. So we took that great trade today. Uh, we took a really great trade, a really great entry. Price never came back. So if we didn't take that entry today, if we didn't take this entry right here, we got the first target hit, it pulled back. We scaled into this target, or we scaled into this position. And from the scale and price never came back. I had one target that did not get hit. And I think I took the profits around like I think it was like 24.18. So I left about 30 points on the table on that last runner contract, but I'm not going to cry about that. It was a great trade that we took today. Really great. Mm. So we usually trade so I guess it really depends with gold. I find that Asia around that 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock. What is that? Yeah, 9 o'clock Eastern. Look, if you're trying to trade gold, gold is usually around that 9 o'clock at night, and in the morning is usually 7:30 in the morning. So what I tend to do is I kind of let the market set up, and 7:30 on both sides of the clock, I'm monitoring what's happened so far on gold. Um, I make my traded decisions after I see the price action, and I have a 10 o'clock rule on gold because through my back testing, I've found that she gets really loose after 10 o'clock. And what that means is that she tends to kind of overshoots a little bit, or she'll kind of trade through uh, areas of support and resistance a lot more overnight. That's why I don't trade after 10 o'clock. Or let me rephrase it, because overshooting is not really in Gold's personality. What she likes to do is break structure, because she's not going to overshoot and then come back and take out this low. Or I think let me try to find a good example of what I'm talking about. Because like after 10 o'clock, so around that 8 o'clock Central Time, you usually get a move. But like after 10 o'clock, you kind of get price just doing all kind of shit, just breaking structure, not really doing anything. And it kind of does that until about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then around 7 o'clock is when you kind of see them now. Now you're starting to see the legs, the pivots, the pullbacks. The market kind of gets back into its rhythm around that 7 o'clock, but just overnight it just kind of does this crap right here. I'm not saying that it doesn't do that every night, but you usually see the bigger moves after that 10 o'clock time frame. So when it comes to the Nasdaq, I only try to trade her during the 8:30 to 8:45 orb, because I found that that's, if you want to find consistency with the Nasdaq, well, the one thing that happens every session with the Nasdaq is that 15-minute orb. It happens every day. So what that orb allows us to do as Nasdaq traders is just to focus on one time of the session. It creates a 15-minute range and you can trade around that range. So I tend to not trade Nasdaq outside of that 15 minutes. And you can find all the trades that, I mean, even though this happened before the 15-minute range, you've had all this opportunity to be profitable in this 15 minutes. I mean, even if you took the breakout out of the range, I mean, it was a profitable trade. So this allows us to go and just do the same trade every day. And that's why we document it. Mm, man, shit, she gets real loose off of that. Super loose. She's a different person after 10 o'clock. She hangs up her business suit and jumps on that pole. She gets super loose after 10 o'clock. Because they say only strip clubs and hospitals are open after 10, after 11. And that's no different from the NASDAQ. Or, I'm sorry, gold. I'm sitting there thinking about NASDAQ. But I think this is another great opportunity right here to see the power of trend lines. If you join this stream and you don't believe in the power of a correctly drawn trend line yet, I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's like the market knows that the trend line is there, and it's all mathematics. So that's why it does it. I mean, this is just a clear sign that the market is predominantly algorithms that are just executing off of their scripts, because you're starting to see the bears shorting perfectly off of that trend line until they finally got this thing to break down. And they were riding this trend line up. So we with this rejection right here, what I see, at least for right now, I see that price has swept the liquidity above this high. I believe we have all-time highs at what, 2469, somewhere around that area. And then I have to ask myself, is the market ready to take out all-time highs? And honestly, I have to honestly say no. But we can definitely see the market continue up higher tomorrow, but with that double top rejection, we could see a significant pullback before the bulls make an attempt to try to take out all-time highs. And if I look at the ES, mm, me and Tori are besties. We talk about trend lines all the time. Honestly, when I was first introduced to chart geometry, trend lines, circles, squares, triangles, all of that, I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. And because that was a strongly held belief, every time that I see the chart geometry work, it's a big cognitive dissonance to me. Even though I know it works, it still is a cognitive dissonance to me because I've held a disbelief in chart geometry for so long. And it just really goes to show that how like just human nature, or just the human experience, is just a contradiction. I know it to be true. I see the charts, I see price reacts uh, at these structures all the time. I trade off of these structures, and yet I still hold on to that because it was a strong belief at one point. It really was. I believe it was a strong belief because of, I mean, the older traders, and if you kind of understand the history of older traders, they didn't particularly care about, or not necessarily care, but it was us against them, against the quants, because these mathematical formulas that move the market now, obviously, if you're if you was a pit trader, because that's where it all started, and you was against the physicists, the mathematicians that were now invaded the market, the quants. Of course, you're going to say, "Oh, them trend lines don't work." You think a line is going to work on your chart? You hear a lot of older traders say that. You think the line is going to move the market, your support line, your resistance line? It works. And if I was not necessarily a lesser person, but someone that was unwilling to change my belief based on new evidence, I would blind myself from the fact that these trend lines don't work because it doesn't line up with what I strongly believe in. And so I had to change. I had to change my thought process. And y'all guys will always see me draw trend lines. I think like last week, we had a trend line from 2 or 3 days ago, and it was literally the bottom of a move on the ES. I don't know if that trend line is still on this chart. It probably isn't, but yeah, it's probably gone. But it literally was the bottom. The market bounced off of a trend line that was drawn 3 days before. And if you're a commodities trader, shit, if you're not using chart geometry, you're really, I mean, shit, on gold. I mean, you can see that this trend line, the market used this trend line and broke above the trend line. You can see the bulls tried to buy it literally at this trend line right here. They failed to hold it. They broke back above it and they came back and then they used it as support. I mean, I mean, it's right there in your face. And all it took was just trading around a line. Crazy, right? Shit, and this is another trend right here. Another trend line right there. You get your stop run above it and then a pullback. I'm not going to have this one on there. But hey, what's up, Investor Z? You said the Michigan State sentiment news dropped us the last time. You know, it could be. We could see that. It's like I said, we got that double top right here, and we have a double top rejection. We're starting to see, and this is a 9600 tick chart. We got our double top rejection right here. We're having the bulls. We have a buyer failure. We're having the bulls failing. They've actually failed, but you can see that they're using the EMAs to push price higher, and then they fail to push it back. And so now price is going down. We still have the 200 EMA pushing up to the upside. So I am looking for price to potentially pull back to around 8. Actually, I think it's I guess we can enter in this data and then we can just talk about it. Because I'm looking for the market to, I want to see the market react. So it's like 24.75 and this would take out all-time highs. All right, that would take out all-time highs. 21.15. And this is just a measured move. When we don't have any price action to the left, I rely on the market to make measured moves. And you can determine measured moves by using fibs and stuff like that because the market is very symmetrical. It will make a 100% move and you'll see a rejection, or you'll see these bots take profits at a 100% move. 227. All right, so if we do see price get back above all-time highs, I am looking for a sweep of that liquidity, probably around 24.75, 24.95. Unless we get some really great news, I don't expect the market to push past all-time highs and keep going without at least a pullback. We usually don't see that, and I don't think that's going to change here. But if we do see that, then like look at R4 right there around that measured move. Because I was looking at 115 to 135 for that measured move, and R4 is around 118. So I think I may be in the correct location. But I was looking for price to get around 895-ish. Around S4, 895 to about 875. And if we don't see price kind of hold this area, then I was looking for 795 about 775, just like right there. So these two areas right here, I mean, we got the pullback. So I want to see what the market does. I mean, if this high is major supply, then we're probably going to get a move actually down to 655. I won't be if we get a big move overnight and the market just trends down, trends down, trends down, then I'm going to be looking around 655. I believe that there might be a bounce at 675, maybe, because that's last week's close and price hasn't tested it. But this is the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq likes to manipulate. She likes to steal accounts, and what can be the obvious trade might be a trap that she uses to collect accounts. So we could potentially see a bounce at last week's close. If this was if this was gold, ES and gold usually bounces at last week close. The Nasdaq likes to use last week's close as a trap. She likes to use highs and lows as traps, like previous days high, previous days lows as traps. The trap in traders. So we'll see what she does. We'll see if we get a move all the way back down here, because if the market is not going to go up, then the only other option it can do is go down or chop to the right. But I think the bulls are going to come back and try to buy tomorrow's dip. But we might see another instance like we saw last Friday, where the market just did this crap. And it just kept going down and going down as the bulls tried to buy it. So we'll see. But we will definitely see. And since we got the time, so the word on the street is that the market is definitely expecting a 50 basis point cut because of how bad the job data was. Around a million jobs got removed. You know, a lot of the jobs that they said or that the Biden administration had reported were jobs that they gave to migrants that they allowed to come into the United States. And that's where a lot of the jobs came from. And now the Trump administration is trying to remove the migrants that have migrated here and revise those statements. Uh, it just kind of shows the state of the labor market. You're starting to see a lot of the tech companies lay off a large portion of their staff, a lot of their because if you really think about it, I'm pretty sure that they created those jobs to help, Biden's administration by saying, okay, well, we'll create these jobs. We will fill those roles, so you can technically have those numbers to say that, oh yeah, we had, this many hirings in this time frame. The job market is strong, yada yada, blah blah blah. Right. But now that the market is quote unquote going through what could be considered an economic crisis with things being more expensive. Now having those jobs that don't necessarily do anything for the company, well, it's just fat that they're going to trim off, and so they can quote unquote restructure. Especially with because I'm pretty sure with all that money that a lot of these companies were getting, I'm pretty sure they was using that money, the dead people that was still pulling Social Security. and disability and all the government aid that, I guess dead people need that shit in heaven or in hell. They need that financial aid from this realm. It's interesting when all that got cleaned up. That's when, oh no, not now we don't have any money. I wonder why. We talked about how in Washington a lot of homes went up for sale when that faucet got turned off. I wonder why. Allegedly, right? Because no one wants to get sued. But well, actually, it was a report. So once Doge came in and all that aid started to dry up, uh, for whatever funny reason, a coincidence, a correlation, whatever word you want to use, right? A lot of people weren't able to afford some of the things that they were able to afford. I wonder why. But that's not here or there because, like I said, this stream was affected by Doge. My trading partner, shit, it's gotten to the point now. Was like, man, Smith can't even really trade anymore. He really can't even trade anymore. He's at work, and I mean, he has to find ways to kind of circumvent and be able to kind of trade, but he really can't even trade anymore. And shit, I mean, the only day that he's off, I mean, he can trade on Friday, but having Friday the only day that you're home and that you can trade, yeah, I don't think I would want to do that either. Mm. Well, you said, am I hanging out with? I mean, is that the running joke? Because of the trend line Tory, trend line Tory. I mean, the trend lines work. The chart geometry works. It definitely works. But y'all guys got me, man. I'm actually a part of her group, and I bought the course. I bought the course. I'm going to repackage her course and sell the course for $2,000. Learn the secrets behind trend lines that you won't find anywhere else except for my exclusive group in my exclusive education and course. Find out why you're drawing your trend lines wrong, and I can teach you and show you how to draw your trend lines the right way to where they work. Yeah. I mean, shit. I mean, if we're going to talk about it, I guess. I mean, as I said it before, if I didn't close out the position at $10,000, at $100,000, it don't really matter at that point. It doesn't matter. That means I'm not even going to I'm not closing the account out. I'm not closing the trade. It's going to come back. It's being down $250,000. Yeah, that trade ain't gonna get. I'm not realizing no $250,000 loss. I'm not realizing that because I mean, just imagine just closing a trade, talking about fine. I'm gonna close the trade, fine, and then as soon as you close it, as soon as you close it, it starts going in your favor, dude. No way, no way. If I didn't close it at 10,000, if I didn't close it at five, I ain't close. I mean, shit. I mean, if I really think about it, if I didn't close it at 10,000, I'm not closing it. I mean, I can sit here and lie to myself and say, man, if it gets to 100, I'll think about it. If it gets to 150, I'll think about it. If it gets to 200, I'll think about it. Like, dude, if I ain't get shit, I ain't closing it. But I can definitely understand the logic, though. Um, I believe I said the same thing when I first started trading options. Is that I didn't understand that a lot of what when people were showing off their 10K days, because back in the day where the full rules, there wasn't, the game wasn't given, the game wasn't told, the game was sold, right? And they were using human greed to get people to buy their courses, join their groups, et cetera, blah, right? And I'm looking at the results thinking that they turned like a $1,000 account, found a really good setup, and turn a $1,000 account into a to $100,000 account, not knowing that they actually had a $100,000 account, $200,000 account, and had $10,000 in profits, which is what, 1%, 10% of their account, which is not necessary. I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, that's not even, that's regular results. If they had a big account and they traded with size and they made 10,000. So once I was disillusioned from that, that's when I began to kind of find my way or navigate through this whole game that you have to actually put your money on the line. Because I would hold out on, a lot of my option positions went to zero, hoping for a 100x, 200x, 5 millionx on my option position. Not truly understanding how the market moved. Now, I mean, if you bought, GameStop and AMC options when they were hot, then yeah, that worked. Or if you bought Tesla, or not Tesla, Twitter before it went private, before it shot up, moves like that where the contracts were trading at 2 cents, and then it shot up to like $20, $30, or however much it shot up, $50 on the contracts, because Elon Musk was going to overpay to buy Twitter at the time. Catching a move like that, or catching that XBX drop where Powell came out and said that, oh, actually, even though we said that we were going to do rate cuts, now that Trump is president, we're not going to do the rate cuts. Suck it. And then the market dropped 1,000 points. And someone posted on X that they bought a $45 XBX that turned into 11 or 12 goddamn $1,000. Yeah. Not hating, but it should have been me, not him. It should have been me. No, I'm just playing. But it's just stuff like that. So, and these prop firms, when Patrick Willen was talking about how, the big P&Ls that they show on Top Step Live and Top Step TV and stuff like that, and these prop firms, what they're showing is people copy trading multiple accounts, and just like they made $2,000 across 5 accounts, and I mean, obviously that all equals up to $10,000 or $11,000, and they show it as if they show it just like, oh yeah, the biggest profits of the day is 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, whatever. And it leaves it up to the interpreter to interpret that, oh man, someone is actually making $100,000 in one account. They don't clearly state that this is someone that is copy trading across accounts. Now there are people that do have $20,000 days in one account when they full port 15 minis, but you're not going to have too many people do that and be successful. You're not going. That's just not going to happen. It does happen, but it's the way that they made it seem is that, hey, we have multiple people doing it and you can do it too. So, I mean, there's a lot of part of this game that, I had to learn, and it was a fuel for over leveraging, and I think that's probably why they do it. Honestly, I mean, the prop firms get paid when you lose. I mean, I think we all know that. You don't need me to tell you that. If I want you to full port, put you in a state of mind where I can make you believe that you can make X amount of dollars, and I know for you to reach that goal, you need to full port, risking the entire account. If you blow the account, you're likely to go on tilt. You're going to reset the account. And because you're still trading on tilt, you're going to come back into the account and full port again, blow it. You're going to probably blow through multiple accounts. And you're going to wonder why the hell you're not getting the same results as the results that they're showing on TV. I definitely suffered from that myself. I wanted the same results. I want to be able to have $10,000 days. I mean, we've had $10,000 days, $20,000. I think the most we made was 30 or 40 or whatever. But I was super heavy, super, 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 super heavy. In the ES, I was trading like 9 mini contracts, and that's super heavy. I mean, I think we was in the sim, I think too. I think it was in the sim because we was testing out the ES orb. And we was testing out the orb, and we caught the orb on a really good day, and I think we had like multiple $20,000 days just trading 9 minis and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess trading that way, it really is a double-edged sword because either you're going to make a lot of money or you're going to blow the account. I mean, there's really no in between that, because if that position goes against you and you don't immediately close it, you can be down 3, 5, 6 points, and there goes the account. Uh, yeah, that would be cool. 3. Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk and Trump had a falling out because of that, because of the big beautiful bill. I will say that I've made this clear that I don't support either aisle of the political arena because I understand it's just that uh, it's an arena that, instead of using short swords and shields to harm your opponent, they use words and they use their ideas and they use public opinion to get their way. And both sides of the aisle does this. One side has, or at least promotes conservative values, and the other side promotes a more freedom, rebellious values. One, and it really depends on what kind of person you are. Because you can tell someone, I mean, it's kind of obvious when you see someone that has conservative ideas, and you can really tell when someone has liberal ideas. It's funny how we all think that we're all individuals, and yet when you put us in a group, we become exactly the same. Exactly the same. You start to say the same things, you start to wear the same things, you start to do the same things. And it's very interesting that when I go on TikTok, which is I only go on TikTok when certain events happen, because I know that I'm going to get an unfiltered opinion about the things that I'm looking up. Things that if something happens, I know that TikTok will provide unfiltered information. And TikTok never disappoints. But there is one thing that I definitely notice on TikTok, and it's very clear. Very, very clear. It's I find it very interesting that people that will probably never see each other, probably don't even know each other. It's crazy how they all look, act, and do the same thing. You scroll, it's basically seeing the same person in a different body. It's very interesting to see. Mm. Well, I mean, I think so. I think so. Man, mm, I missed this goal position. I mean, I missed this goal play literally by one, two, five. By 5 ticks, I missed this goal play. 5 ticks. I don't know what the heck I was looking at. Oh, did Alfred say something? I must have missed that comment by Alfred. I don't see it. You know, honestly, at this point, when it comes to data or data, however your favorite way to say it, there was a point in time when I was very cautious about where I put my data at, or at least where I put my personally identifiable information at. But at this point, if you've shared your information on one platform, it's basically on it's basically on all other platforms at this point. Because if you have a Gmail account, if you have a Facebook account, any social media account, I mean these social media platforms, I mean they literally they work together. If I don't know if y'all guys recall, but remember when Elon said something about if Apple uses open AI in their phones, that they would no longer allow their employees to have Apple devices while on premises. You would wonder why he would say something like that, because that kind of sternness, that kind of absolute statement only comes from knowing something that someone else doesn't know. Like the situation, I think a great relatable situation would be the claims that Drake is making with Kendrick about how he's saying that, oh, that the numbers of his hottest song right now was inflated by using bots. How can Drake make such a strong claim unless he knows that to be fact? It's the same situation with when it comes to data minis. You shared your information on one platform, it's on all platforms. There's no way that because well, I mean the technology, yeah, okay, never mind. I'm not going to use that as an example. These big companies, they know you better than you know yourself because they're always ingesting data, your behavioral habits. They have adware, spyware, adware that tracks what you're looking at all times. It saves your cookies, it reads your cookies on your browsers, on your phone. All this information is being ingested, analyzed, and used. Yeah, your device is literally listening. I mean, it's the reason why you can say, "Hey, you know what?" And as soon as you say it, your device is like, "Uh-huh. What do you need help with?" Your device is always listening. It's always listening. You have to go into your settings. I don't know if because I know that at one point in time you was able to go into your settings and actually turn the listening functionality off on all of your applications, but I'm pretty sure they've taken away that functionality to where you can't turn it off. I haven't looked, so this is only an assumption, but there was one at one point in time where you can turn off because I done it, and or at least I do it. I don't allow my applications to have the GPS on and track my location. Like if there's like certain applications, it's like, dude, why the hell do you even need to know my location? Like you're just a calculator and you need to know where I'm at. Like what kind of shit is that? You need to know where I'm at and I'm just using you as a calculator. But I mean at this point, I mean it is what it is, man. There is really no hiding. There's cameras everywhere. Everything is just collecting data. There's just a whole internet of things that is connected to a internet connection and is capturing some form of data, whether it be visual, vocal, and things of that nature. Is always capturing something because AI, I mean, the whole thing about AI is that it needs this type of data to train. And that's why a lot of these big companies that are spending billions, trillions of dollars in developing their AI tools, a lot of their documentation now says that we know that it's your data, but it's our data now too, and we're free to use this data how we please because they need this data to train their models. Yeah, GPT doesn't respond like a human because they just made it that way. Mm. Yep, that's exactly right, Jonathan. Yep. The phones are reading minds. I mean, if we're going to get into the science, if we're going to get into the science of thought, I mean, at the end of the day, thoughts are, waves. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that the phones can pick up our thoughts, but I mean, it's the same technology sending out radio waves. That's why sometimes where you can kind of, when you get close to someone that you're close to, you can kind of, you have a thought. Like you've ever had a situation where you thought about someone and then they called you, or you thought about someone and then they walked through the door, and it's like, oh my God, how did I know? A lot of technology is designed based on human functionality because we're so indoctrinated in a system. A lot of our innate abilities have been delegated to like our phones and stuff like that. And if you just really dig deep into the science, a lot of our technology is just, I think, what humans were once able to do. I don't think the idea of telepathy is something that was imagined, but something that probably was something that humans were capable of doing at one point, but then lost the ability, or not necessarily lost the ability to do it, but the teachings on how to do it is no longer there. You can definitely feel somebody's emotions. You can pick up on somebody's emotions, even if you're not feeling happiness, sadness, joy, whatever emotion. You can get close to someone that's experiencing a strong emotion, and you can pick up and begin to feel those emotions as if you're going through it yourself. I think that's what it's being like, an empath, having empathy. Words are definitely spells because depending on how a word is formed and how a word is interpreted, words can definitely lock in or lock out your innate ability. If I call you stupid enough times to get you to believe it, when you when you begin to do something that you consider is smart, there's going to be something in your mind that says, "Hold up, this is too smart for you. You're stupid. Don't do it. If you do this, this will make you smart, but you're stupid." And if you believe in that voice, which they like to call spells. And then smart people begin to act stupid because they are starting to believe that they're stupid. And as you kind of just kind of, if you, as you kind of study and dig deep into how the human body, the mind, the spirit, all that works, you really begin to realize how broken. And that's why I always say that the human experience is a contradiction, because I know certain things to be true. There was certain programming that I had to overwrite and fix, and I had to actually I had to go in internally as if I was a mechanic and fix a lot of broken programming. Programming that I picked up and I still have certain programming that I have to always kind of just correct, because it was something that was a reality for me for so long, that when it pops up randomly, because it's just been there, it's been a part of my programming for so long, and it's like nah, I know it's not to be true. But when it was my reality, it was all I knew. And that code still pops up from time to time. So yeah, the human experience is definitely a contradiction. You definitely have to watch what you take in, because the subconscious mind is literally an input output machine. Whatever you put into it is what it will put out. And a big obstacle and I mean, especially with trading, and I still self sabotage to this day, is I started getting paid out. I started being profitable when I allowed myself to be profitable, because I did not believe that I can be profitable and get paid from these prop firms, or I didn't believe it. Every like the last day I would find a way to, blow the account. I just need $100, and there goes the account. Or it's the last day to pass the account. Oh, there it goes. I was trading perfectly in it because I had a strong belief that, there's no way this thing will work. There's no way I'm gonna get paid out. There's just no way. And I was just blowing accounts left and right. And then I told myself, you know what? I had to go in, like I said, had to fix it personally. It's like, no, I can do this. I can prove to myself that I can do this. If it's going to take me a certain amount of time to do it, then I'm gonna have to do it. I had to believe that I can do it. And because I went through this personally, now when I hear things about like mindset, and like your mindset makes the person, your beliefs makes the person, that is definitely true. Because if you don't believe that you can't do it, you will self sabotage. Your output would be your input. It will become a self fulfilling prophecy. And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of repetition. It took a lot of affirmations. At one point in time, I thought affirmations were stupid, but my input are these affirmations. I can do this. I will do this. I will get paid out. I will take this trade. I will take this setup. I will it. I am. Those were my input for a very long time, until it became a part of me. And then it's like, and then because that was my input, all like now when I hear like these negative thoughts, it's like, it's so interesting that these negative thoughts used to have so much power over my actions. Now, when I hear these negative thoughts, it's like, okay, yeah, I know you're bullshitting, because I just got paid out last week, or I've gotten this amount of money in payouts, and I've conquered every obstacle that the prop firm put in my way. I overcame it. So I know that that's not true. And it's just that these things doesn't have power. It just doesn't. But it's there because it's been there for a long time. And I think it really depends on if you've grown up in the era of what, like the millennials, where your place was your place. I feel like it's harder for us to kind of break out of that mindset because we didn't have like the internet to, like, the internet has made millionaires out of people that if it wasn't there, they would have probably been, your blue collared workers, me included. We would probably work in a trade. We'll probably be like the old fashioned blue collar dad that, has a business on the side, a handyman, just doing things to, make ends meet. But the internet has definitely allowed a lot of people to become and step into that 7 figure, 8 figure status that they probably wouldn't have never reached. You don't have to climb the corporate ladder anymore. You can just go on TikTok and become financially free. And that's all thanks to the internet. So I think that's probably what a lot of not self sabotage, but a lot of imposter syndrome comes from, because it's like, well, if it wasn't for this tool, maybe I wouldn't be here. Maybe I would still be that person that hoped and dreamed of becoming a successful this or a successful that. And if it wasn't for the internet, it would probably remain a dream. And I think that's what a lot of people experience, that imposter syndrome. I know that's was one of the reasons why I experienced imposter syndrome as I was coming up. But now all that is a distant memory. It is a distant memory at this point. Oh, has he, Jonathan? What was he saying? You know what, three? I've done that so many times. I've done that so many times when when I didn't believe I can get a payout. Actually, I don't know if I did that on stream. Yeah, there was a time where, like, on gold, for whatever reason, I would trade perfectly until that last day. And it was on stream because I remember talking to you guys about it. For whatever reason, the first day, it was the last day to the payout. And then for whatever reason, the trade went south. And I said, fine. I'll just come back the next day because I think I may have hit daily loss. Yeah, I did. Because I wouldn't have stopped. Either I was going to get the payout or I was going to hit daily loss limit. I hit daily loss limit. And then I get the money back the next day. And I have perfect trades until it was the last day for that last payout. And I did the same thing again. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? I'm trading perfectly until I get to the last day. And I just need $100 or however, like, dude, I just need $100. And $100 on that last day is the hardest thing to make, no matter how much contracts you put on. You can full port. And then that $100 is the hardest thing to fucking make. And it just always seemed to be on that last day. Always, man. I think so too. I think we have lost a lot of abilities. Oh, Jonathan, I'm just seeing that comment. I've been good, man. I'm glad to hear that you're getting over your health issues, man. Glad to have you back. And Alfred's talking about a woman's intuition. A woman's intuition, which is basically a gut feeling. I mean, uh, just a gut feeling, and we all can do that. Because we got to remember, uh, I know that a lot of people don't realize this, but we all start off as females. Every single one of us. We mutate into men, into males, but we all start off as females. So technically, when a woman says, "You don't know how it feels to be a woman," well, technically, yeah, I kind of do. Well, you haven't lived as a woman, yeah, but we've all started as female, or at least that's what science suggests, right? That we all start off that way. Uh, One of the things that I found interesting was that you can turn a man into a woman, but you can't turn a woman into a man. A man can have a sexual or a how do I want to say this? They can be reconstructed down there and have a 75% functioning part. Obviously, it's not going to do everything that a woman can do, but um, it functions almost just the same. But obviously, you can't reconstruct a female down there. And I always found that very interesting. And when I came across information that would suggest that we all start off as females, because who the hell knows for real? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But that made sense to me. It definitely made sense. But I've come to realize that we are all the same. We just have different motivations, but we all do the same thing. Um, we all do the same thing. Women are delusional, and men fall under delusion. It's the same shit. It really is. Uh, Men are more romantic than females. I don't know. I think that's just part of the illusion that men fall under. But women are not. Women are more emotional, but men are more romantic. Men tend to want to, what's the word I want to use? They tend to want to use their resources to make someone happy. They want to be romantic. That's not how women operate. When they're in the position of power, they do not operate that way. They will share their resources with conditions, and they will take away as soon as those conditions are broken when they are in the position of power. And that behavior tends to find itself in all parts of the world. It's not a particular female that this happens to. It tends to happen to all of them. You can have the most feminine female and you give her power, and then all of a sudden she turns into, I guess, what you would call a Karen, right? It just seems to be something that just happens. But I had this very interesting encounter one time, and I don't know how I would feel about this if I was able to do it. But I had a female come up to me, and she told me, it was like, "Do you know what color you are?" And it just took me aback. It just took. I was like, "What?" It was like just a random thing to say. It was like, "Do you know what color you are?" And I was like, "No, tell me." She was like, "You're purple. You have a purple aura around you." And I was like, aura. At the time, I didn't know anything. I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? You have a purple aura. Like your aura is purple." And she was like, "Yeah, that's all I wanted to say." And then she walked away. And obviously, a crazy ass encounter like that has stuck with me until this day. That happened like in Um, I think that was in 2012 or something like that. Maybe 2000. No, it was here like 2017, 2016, 2017. It was just a very, it was very interesting. And when she said aura, I had no clue at the time what the hell she was even talking about. And I thought to myself, if I can see someone's color, if I can see their aura, how would I feel about that? Now, I can look at somebody's body language and tell what emotion that they're experiencing. I can see your body I mean I can read your body language, but I don't know how it would feel if I can see what color you are, or if I just start seeing colors, or how that would even look, or how I would respond to that. That seems more like something that maybe a girl would appreciate more than a man. I don't want to see what color you are. I don't have a desire to see what color you are, honestly. But maybe the equivalent, like I said, I can just read your body language and kind of tell, like, okay, yeah, I can tell that this person feels this way. I mean, I feel that I can look at somebody's face and kind of see what kind of life they've had, because it, from at least in my experience, certain people look a certain way. You can tell, like, go happy, go lucky people all tend to have the same soft features. Like, they're not scrunching their face up. They're not really moving their face because it's so passive and go lucky, and it's soft. They have soft features in their face. So you can tell that they don't do too much thinking up there. They just want to experience life emotionally. They don't occupy their headspace a lot. And obviously, thinkers, you can tell that they're thinkers because you can just see it in their face that it just seems like thinkers have a more structured face. Their face is more structured. And it makes sense because if you're thinking, I mean, it makes sense. And you can just tell by if somebody's just far gone, like if they don't even live in reality, they're just slow. You can see that in their face, or at least I feel like I can. Okay. So you bought a 5,000. So how is that algo working for you? Oh yeah, so yeah, Cave Trader. Were you able to recover that? I remember you telling me that. you know, uh I will say this. There was a point in time where I did not believe in the zodiac signs, but it it took, when I put when it was a more scientific spin put to it, then that's when it started to make sense, because I've already shared this with you guys already, but it does, people born in the same time of the year tend to have the same energetic properties. And if you think of it as, well, when you were in your mom's womb, depending on the season, that was the energy that you absorbed the most. So when you're born, you're just a reflection of that time when you were in your mom's womb. A lot of the Sagittariuses that I know are very ambitious, and it's a double edged sword. They are very well spoken, very optimistic, very outgoing. I will also say that I'm not saying that this is you three, but if it's you, they like to cheat. They like to be in 10 different relationships at one fucking time. And I'm not saying that that's just not something that's unique to them, but with Sagittarius, it's just that they're always on the go. They're always doing something. But there's also like a negative side of what I've seen with Sagittarius as well. If they don't have anything meaningful to do, then they begin to drift. They begin to go crazy because they have all these ideas, all these potential. They have the drive to be great, and they can't utilize that drive, utilize that fire to get to where they believe that they should be. And they just drift, always getting in trouble, always self sabotaging. And that's what I've seen with the Sagittariuses that I know. And it's all the same. I've dated two Sagittariuses. Actually, I wouldn't even call it dating because I just said that I was intimate with at least two. And when I said it was the same person in a different body, it was the same person in a different body. Same person, same personality. It's like, yeah. You say you're not that smooth, but the whole thing about not the cheating part, but do you feel that you have like a drive, a fire in you that just forces you to want to be great, outgoing, doing things that maybe other people are not capable of doing? But like I said, that's usually what I see. I'm a Virgo, so majority of my families are Virgos. I started off just like any other Virgo, and I think I would consider myself a more of a black sheep Virgo because now I'm very protective of my energy. I'm very protective of it. At one point in time, I speak to my other family members, and you could just tell it's like, I just want to help people. I want to help people, and that usually what Virgos are. We're usually the support system for other people. Usually Virgos get used a lot because a lot of people like to just energy vampire, and Virgos are not they have natural feminine energy, life energy, because the Virgo is the only feminine or female zodiac sign, and so it's all natural feminine energy, which is a great balance for me because I'm a very masculine person, but I have natural feminine energy, so I'm more balanced. I have a balanced personality. But I understand, like, I do have that desire to help, but uh, I help those that help themselves. You need to show some initiative before I help you. I'm not here to be an extra hard drive for your life. A lot of Virgos fall into that situation where they become extra storage, extra space for somebody else and their fucking problems. A lot of Virgos are addicted to that because we're drawn to that. I'm not. Like that's why I say sometimes I might be like a black sheep Virgo, where it's like, nah, I'm not with none of that shit. But I mean, I'm not saying that all Virgos are like that. There are some Virgos that are very similar to myself, where it's like we care about who we care about, but everybody else can go jump off a bridge. I mean, it's just that simple. Okay. All right. So let's get this done. More emotionally unstable. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Three. Like a lot of the Sagittariuses are it's a double-edged sword. If there is no if there is nothing meaningful that they can do with all their ambition, there's a lot of self-sabotage, a lot of drifting, a lot of destructive behavior. And I see that a lot in Sagittariuses. I don't think I've met I don't think I've met a lazy Sagittarius. And when I use the word lazy, I'm not talking about someone that is like they sit on the couch and don't do anything because we can all be lazy. I'm speaking in lazy in a sense to where they don't have any dreams or nothing that they don't want to accomplish. Like in the Sagittarius is that I've met, it's I want to build a legacy. I want to work towards building something that's going to live beyond me or move past me. And Sagittarius is our fire signs. Like Aries are fire signs, but they're more aggressive. The area, like I can tell Aries because they all tend to have that same aggressive energy. They're just so aggressive. They're always ready to fight you. It's the god of war, and it's with you meet an Aries, you can just feel their fire. You can feel their fire. Sagittarius is a drive. Their fire is a fuel. Aries, their fire is an aggression, ready to fight. And it's good to have a fighter like an Aries in your corner, because they'll fight to the end, especially if they care about you. But but yeah, Virgos are more emotionally unstable because, like I said, uh, a lot of Virgos fall for the being emotional support systems because naturally that's what we are. Where like it's like I said, the only feminine zodiac sign is natural feminine energy. It's like a mother almost, being a motherly figure. You'll find more Virgos very mature at young ages. Like if you like a 10, 5 year old, 15-year old Virgo will probably be more mature than the adults around them because of that feminine motherly energy that Virgos all have. Mm. All right, so let's get this documentation done. Ah, shit. I guess I should have locked this thing down. I should have locked it down. I don't know where this thing was at. Oh yeah, it was right here. Okay. So 906 to about 909. Okay. 935 and 951. Okay. 40, 24, 24. Yeah, this is what happened the first time. 24, 22. So at 9:59. What the hell is this? I don't know what the heck that is. Hmm. Okay. Ooh. And this only would have traded. I only got 51 points. Hmm. You too, 3. You too. All right. So I'm about to just document this and we will be ready for tomorrow's session. As Alfred stated earlier, we have the Michigan. Actually, let me just put this data in, then we'll talk about it. The initial sweep happened at 9:06. The initial break happened at 9:35. High. I gotta put that. Make sure I put that in there. High. Oof. The successful break of structure happened at 9:59. Then went high. High. Initial reaction. I'll say it was a break and retest. Results. The first move was 25 points above the opening range. And the breakout was 51 points above the range. I'm glad that I actually found a trade within the range and did not have to rely on finding something outside of the range because today the money was made inside the opening range today. Was the only, I mean, it only moved 51 points outside of this range today. But the ES, God, yo, if you took the ES orb today, you are definitely a happy person, and you would have to have trusted the initial breakout because it did not pull back. This thing just shot up. it just shot up. So anybody that took the ES orb today, congratulations because you made a lot of money. A lot. Okay. So just like Alfred said earlier today, we do have the Michigan consumer sentiment and expectation tomorrow. Uh we will see. Let's ask the my AI assistant what we should expect for the Michigan consumer sentiment index for tomorrow. Okay. So expect the preliminary September Michigan consumer sentiment index to show a slight improvement. So all right, so it's saying that a better than expected print would be modestly bullish for equities in the dollar, signaling resilience in the US consumer spending at a vulnerable macro juncture. Rate cut outlook, we don't need to think about the rate cuts cuz we're at least getting a 25 basis point cut next week. If Powell does anything but cut rates during next week's FOMC meeting, this market might see the biggest, not necessarily the biggest crash, but we will see a big drop if he does not cut rates. Because at that point, the market would have to speculate that Powell is purposely keeping rates up for something outside of the Fed mandate, because now the labor market is showing that it was weak this entire time, and that the numbers were being inflated by employing migrants that are not registered to work here. A lot of those jobs were given to migrants with visas, work visas. And with those jobs wiped out and revised, it's showing that the labor market is in trouble. So if he does not cut rates next week, we will see a drop. The market is expecting at least a 25 and hoping for a 50. So we don't have to worry about a rate cut because we should be getting one. So the preliminary reading is likely to be interpreted as a tentatively positive sign for the U.S. consumer outlook, but not strong enough alone to change the Fed easing trajectory or to a meaningful reversal overall. Caution in risk markets. So I guess we will see. We will ask the AI assistant tomorrow once the data is released how we should interpret it, and we will move forward from there. But I enjoyed the conversation tonight, guys. I appreciate all that's joined. We will definitely come back tomorrow morning and we will definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.